I'm a little bit late, but everyone can see me now, I believe so. Okay, we're going to be talking about spirituality in the best way that I can. So, right, everyone can hear me. Send in your questions and let's start helping people, because everybody is going through such an emotional time. I think it's been a strange time. Sometimes when I sort of pull off, I sort of think, okay, I can feel something's going on. Let me just turn that sound down. I can feel that something is going on. And so therefore I always like to simmer in the energy. Because if you don't know what it is and the reasons why your body can change frequency and vibration, you get the ump basically, or you can get angry, and we just don't know why. Understanding the energies of everything, you pick up on that energy. So when we look at body-mind energy, your body picks it up, your energy picks it up, your mind picks it up, your mind starts to try and interpret what is going on. So tonight we're going to be trying to put it all together in one bundle. And that is what Beamy is. Understanding your true self. I think it was Tesla that said if you could understand frequency, vibration and energy, you would have basically mastered life. And probably back in the day, when you look how much of a genius he was and what he created, he's right. Now look at us now. We don't have to be into physics, or we don't have to be a scientist. We're just the normal people. We're just trying to understand life. We're trying to understand our emotions. We're trying to understand our relationships. And sometimes emotions can be a pain in the backside. And so therefore, someone I spoke to the other night, and they were sort of saying about, balancing their emotions, and they were finding it very difficult, but they was understanding it. They had it in the words, but they needed to put it into action. And Beamism, as I say to you, be me, to discover your true self, it's a practice. You have to practice becoming you, being you. Reason I say that is because you've been practicing being a human being all of your life. And so therefore we just live a human story. But I know, and you all know, something just doesn't add up. Something is amiss here. And it's a real shame that we go through life with that unconsciousness and that awareness that says, something's missing. I don't know what it is, but something's missing. So therefore, we all have a void. And it's a void that we believe that we have to fill it up with something. But in that void, that's where your soul speaks to you. Because in that void of nothingness, and thank God for nothingness, because that's the art of your own spirituality, it's the art of nothingness. But in that, that's where you find the gold of who you are. And you've all got it. Doesn't matter what you've bought in material things, doesn't matter what relationship you've had or how many children that you had, it still has that energy in there that says, what is that I can't seem to satisfy? That's the soul's journey. Right, let's welcome everyone in. Hi there, Dowie. Thank you very much. You know what you did. That was brilliant. And reading what you said, I mean, it made me realise how much people are learning from what it is that I'm saying, because I sit on the other side of this camera. I don't know who's watching. I don't know who knows Trev. And I just plant a seed. And sometimes people do this, sometimes they get what I say, And then they sort of get what I say. And then there's some that don't get what I say. But each one of them people, in time, there will be a moment where you will go, or anyone will go, oh, I know what he means now. I get it. That's the moment. And sometimes when people go back over my videos and they listen to them, and they always say, I didn't hear it like that the first time round. There was bits in that I didn't understand, but I do now. There was bits in there I didn't even hear the first time. Listen, I create them. And because they're done off the cuff, which means there's no editing, it just happens, I have to sit and listen to them because I know that the message that's coming out is not 100% coming out of me, in a sense. You become like a channel. I get me out of the way and I just allow things to flow. And if we could get to that point where we just want to flow, there's an energy that flows. And that's what happens to your energy when you've gotten rid of that emotional pain or that sense of a feeling that something is wrong. Then everything starts to flow. To me, whether it comes in from the top and goes through your feet into the ground, or it comes up through your feet and goes high into the heavens. It's an energy, and it is great. It's beautiful to actually feel clear. So how many of you would like to feel clear? So when you get a moment, or you get a aha moment, or you get a ha moment, they're all moments where you got to really pay attention to aha and ha moment, because your body has just picked up on something. It heard something. It resonated with something. Hence, beamism. Takes a little bit of time, but you've got all the time to the day you leave this planet. So let's get cracking. Let's get moving. Let's get transforming. Because that's the one thing that we want to do. Beamism is transformation. Beamism is a relationship. Beamism is about being, not doing. Being. In our human life, we are being. In your depressed dark night of the soul life, you are being. In that dark night of the soul, you want to go back to how you used to feel like you were being. But that is the journey that got you into the dark night of the soul. So you don't want to go back. Because what you'll do is that you'll walk down the same pathway and you'll fall down the same hole. But this time, it will take longer to climb out. That's the dark night of the soul. I remember this saying, I don't know where it came from, but it's just the way my mind works. It's a weird mind. It's not the mind that I used to have, and it's different. I like it. It's wonderful. It teaches me a lot of things. And a metaphor was this. I think I've done a picture of it somewhere along the line. I did do a picture. It's me with a pair of angel wings. Oh no, pair of angel wings on, kind of quite gold. And he's down on his luck. He's fallen. And there's a rope that's just hanging down there in front of him. And what it is if God throws down a rope, there's two ways you can use that rope. You can tie one knot and end it. Or you can tie many knots and climb out. Beamism is the many knots to climb out. Do you like that? I'll have to find the picture of that. Maybe I'll, I don't know how to do that. It's in there somewhere. It might be on one of my actual videos that I've already done. But I love me photography. I think it's one of the best things. We are photographers in our natural state. because we're taking everything in. You're photographing everything. Every time you blink, that's a photo, that's a photo. You're taking it all in. So your whole body really is a photographic library. The weird thing is, though, we can't always go back into the archives of retracting some of these memories or these photos that we've blinked at and witnessed. Awakening is all about understanding your journey. If you see it as a human story, it's just that. It's great. Hopefully everyone had a great human story. You got all the things that you wanted. Hopefully that's worked out for you. But for the people that are in that depression, that's the ending of the programming. It's time for your new programming. It's time for your medicine. And beamism, for me, was the cure to being mentally insane, believing that my life was just that. So in the awakening, one of the things you're looking at is appreciation. Just the whole thing, good or for bad. You have to find that place, because only you can judge it as whether or not it's good or bad. But how about if you just looked at it, after a while, you will look at it and see that nothing of it was bad. It was the story that you and your soul had to endure, to go through. Now, we come out broken. That's the human story. The human story doesn't know the story. The be-me, the soulful be-me, sees the whole bloody thing. Because if I go back 10 years, I have no idea what's going on. I'm basically mentally insane. I've lost the plot. I don't know who I am. My body hurts like it's been beaten with hammers. I'm in the dark. My mind is shot to pieces. My emotions are trying to kill me. I can't get up in the morning. I am down and out. That's what it feels like, to get knocked out. And then to get locked out of the world that I just fell out of. That's the dark night of the soul. You fall out of life. Your soul pulls you out of that life. It's almost, it grabs you and pulls you out, and you're stumbling backwards, trying to regain some form of sanity. So everything that we play in our lives is experiences, but we don't truly understand why we have to go through that. Why did that happen? Why is it always me? Why do I always lose? Why do I always take the blame? It's always what the, and you look to God. What on earth's going on? Help me out down here. What did I do? Did I muck up in a previous life? What did I do? When you find yourself in that place, that is a very confusing place. I know that story all too well. There's your dark night of the soul again. And your emotions. You can feel emotions that literally want to strangle the life out of your body. Sometimes I used to feel I had so much pain in the body, and this is true, it's a bit morbid, but I'm going to tell you, because my mind's telling me to tell you. I felt like if I stabbed myself with a knife that I'd heated up, so it was a hot flame, and I stabbed myself just to scratch with the point of the heated blade, just to scratch the internal pain that I was experiencing. The knife and the red hot poker knife piercing my skin would have just scratched that and said, that was worth it. that was worth it just to give that a little scratch, because it was itching. And that's how it kind of makes you feel. You believe that you could stab yourself and it won't be as painful as the emotional story that you've just had. But why is it an emotional story? Because we don't know how to read the story. So therefore, we read our story emotionally. Everything's emotionally. If I said to you, work out how many good moments you had, work out how many bad moments you had, there you are. Good moments, bad moments. That's it. Emotions were good, emotions were bad. That's it. Two things. And when you look at your life, you think, I've had more of a low energy experience than I've had that. So how many of that did you have compared to that? Work that out in a percentage, as I did. And as the years tick by, you start saying, oh, nothing's changed. I still feel the same. I still vibrate at the same energy. I still can't let go of. And why am I in so much pain? Because you've collected a ton of it. From the moment you was born, you could have had your ass slapped. That's abuse, straight away. Your mother could have had her belly split open and you get yanked out by your legs, hanged upside down, maybe smacked again. The screaming that's going on as a woman, some scream, not all scream, I should imagine, but the noise that we come into, it's quite traumatic. And then we go through life being a kid, that's emotional. You fall over a lot, you cry a lot, you get sick a lot, you may even get hit a lot. You may go to school and get bullied a lot. So when we look at all them emotions, then you've got the whole of the schooling thing. That's totally traumatic. That's prison. Then you come out, get into relationships. Wow, they're a story and a half. Very emotional. So we're still on emotional. You get married. It's a great day. Then it gets emotional. You have kids. Great moments. Then it gets emotional. So the whole story is emotional. So when I give you this simple answer, if I try to work out all of my emotions through that lot, my God, 50 lifetimes. But if I looked at all of that and simply said, I'm going to balance my emotions, I'm definitely going to try and balance my emotions. I need to balance my emotions because I'm beating myself up. That's self-abuse. And then you wonder why you don't feel good. You don't feel well. Because as a human being, we knock the shit out of ourselves sometimes, and sometimes other people. Sometimes people do it to you. So we look at it and we say, life is pretty tough with some good moments. That's your life. That's our life. But it's a shame that that's all it means. That's all it stands for. That's all we do. Could we have changed it? I don't think so. It's just the way that it is. It's the way that it was. But in my first parts of my life, I just thought I'd let it happen. That's life, isn't it? Oh, shit happens. Oh, God, that's happened. Oh, now I'm a dad. Oh, now, it's just a random effect of scenarios that you find yourself in. But what if there is a plan to all of them things that you just thought just happened? And so therefore we look at life and we say, well, I don't know the meaning of it. I don't really know who I am. I don't really even know why I do what I do. I just do. Transformation is when you can understand that you have been emotionally fed all your life, and you get to a point and you say, I've had enough. I've had enough. This needs to stop. I can't do it anymore. Then you go be me. Then you start to realise that the journey has always been you, but it hasn't really. But it has. But it hasn't really. But it's all been you. You, me, life, you are the common denominator in the whole thing. Every part of it. You are the common denominator. Then we can blame others. My life's like this because of my mum. My life's like this because of my dad. My life is like this because of my relationship. My life is like this because of school, and the list goes on. So therefore, we blame everyone. But what if there's still a plan? Amongst all of that, what if everything that you'd said, everything that you had done, every relationship that you've had, every emotion that you have felt, every tear that's fallen from your face, that's led into a river, all of it is just emotional. But what if there was a plan behind it? Well, there is a plan behind that, and that is how I discovered Beamism, the Be Me. That's what the Dark Night of the Soul was all about. Dark Night of the Soul is a place where you find yourself and you say, I need to have a word with myself because I owe it to myself to be happy. And I do truly need to find the meaning of who I am, and it definitely ain't human. Because if it is, I've had enough. I've had enough of that human. So you're finding your Be Me. All emotional, human. Finding your Be Me is understanding you can let go of them emotions now. Doesn't let go of the memories. You let go of the emotions. It's a feeling. What are you all searching for? What is it? It's a feeling. Just a feeling. And you know why you chase the feeling? Because you don't like the way that you're feeling. And so therefore, it's just a feeling. So what is the meaning of life really? Just a feeling. So I put it to you. How do you feel? There's your emotions. Right, I'm going to say hello to everybody. I've been rattling away there, talking away. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Zansu, Florentine. Witchmaster General, hello there. Sogio, excuse me. Metric, welcome to the show. We have Ellie Wim, brilliant. Hi, Trevor. Hi, Double E. Loki, hi, Loki. Time, haha. All I want is time. Or time to not matter. Yeah, time. It's our greatest currency. And then when you look at that currency, time doesn't exist. So what really is your currency? It can only be the breath, really. Do you like the Peaky Blinder look? I thought I'd come in a bit peaky blindy. I thought I'd come in a little bit East Endy. This is the look. I forgot I looked like that until I just saw myself. I forgot I was wearing this. Right, okay, Loki, let's talk about long, long life. You said that once before. You can talk about a long, long life. Let us know and we'll see where that goes. A long, long life. Would you want a long, long life? Right, Zantsu. Observation in oneself is challenging. It is easy to watch this movie and be distracted about everything happening around. Then observing where I am, what am I thinking and feeling? Well, that's the very truth of it. We did come here just to observe, technically to witness, to say that you'd actually been on this planet and seen this a wonderful kingdom, this beautiful place that's in the middle of nowhere, technically. So understanding that when you're going beyond that human side of yourself, that's where you get that, you become in awe of it all. And then you start to realize that your one story is for you to observe it. But as the human, what the human does is that it absorbs it. See, that would be the difference. So you're trying to sort of separate yourself from it, not so that you can't go back into it, but you're just separating yourself from it emotionally. It's like watching a movie, as I've said before, it's like watching a movie, but you turn the sound down. It's only the music that makes the sound, which is the emotions. So whatever it is that you are thinking and feeling, then that's your truth. Thinking and feeling, what comes first? Is it thinking? Is it feeling? Did the feelings start and then the thoughts happened? Even that's a tough one. But you've got to realise the body that we walk around in is very highly sensitive. So it will always work on the feeling of feelings. But if you take the word away of feeling, what is it then? Well, it's just an energy, which means then it's just a vibration. So something's vibrating. It's got an energy to it. And that's your energy. That's your vibration. That's the true answer of who we are. That's our one signature tune. That's what you're looking for. Hi, Leon. Right, Celtic Dragon. Everything is system overload. My mind needs to shut down, and the lights are too bright. Okay, so your system's on overload. So what do you think you're going to do about that? Your mind needs to shut down. Become mindfully empty. If you keep reciting to yourself, become mindfully empty, that's all that can go in. But when you got a mind that's in conflict and you need to shut that down, that's a no-go. It's not really going to happen because it's not going to shut down. It's on full-blown, let's get it out there. So therefore, that's what it's doing. But it needs another command. And that's where become mindfully empty really kind of works, because it's just 3 words. And plus you've told your mind basically to shut up, and I'm just going to think about these 3 words. So that, try that. Photographers note the light and dark shadows being cast. Yeah, that's the art of photography. It's just that. It's light and dark. Everything is light and dark, isn't it, when you think about it? Makeup's light and dark. People are light and dark. The planet is light and dark. Everything's got a light, and a lot of things have got things that go dark. What you focus on ultimately expands. It does do that. Zentu says, yes, Celtic, I feel the same nowadays, overload. Right, right, okay. Everyone is acting on emotions during this atmospheric shift. It's the Schumann resonance. Okay, so we're changing the energy. We will pick up on energies like that. And don't forget, it's a good word, the resonance. It's about how we resonance, or the resonance that we put off, which is going to be a waveform. Everything has got a resonance to it. Audio's got a resonance to it. But always check out what it is that you're putting out and also what you're bringing back in. Ernest says, I've been in so much insomnia, my body is close to ABS, automatically bodily shutdown. Insomnia. What do you do in that insomnia? And you've got to find something to understand why that does that. Because in that, you need to sort of get yourself busy. It's almost like your body is turning around and saying, we're not going to sleep tonight, we've got some work to do. It's almost like your soul telling you, no, we're not sleeping until we've worked out this shit that's going on. So insomnia can come, I didn't sleep. I found it very difficult to sleep because my mind was on this trip. This mind was coming up with things. I had no idea what he was talking about. And it was like badgering me, and it was bullying me, and it was like, and then your body gets aggravated. And it gets so aggravated that you don't want to get up, but you've got to get up, but you've got the arsehole with getting up. But I got to the point when that started to happen, and I just thought, right, I'm not going to fight this, and up we get then. Let's do something about it. So I went into that place. And in that place, though, that's where I did a lot of writing from my soul. So whatever it was that was giving me that insomnia, and what was making my body feel like that, I mean, the two work together. And I think you use that time to generally just try and work that out, because that's what you're here to do. You're here to sort of work out certain things that's happening to you that have no real reason to happen to you. So there's always a trigger point that is happening. Oh, is it full moon today? Oh, wow, that's why then. I was like that. I was like, should I, shan't I? Feel a bit of an energy. Well done. That's it. Aha moment. Right, Celtic Dragon. I had a mental and nervous breakdown and had to take time off work because I was trying to get back into the world. It kicked me back into the dark night. Yeah, that's what I spoke about earlier on. You can see, look, let me just explain something here. I had a mental and nervous breakdown. That's human, right? What you've just told me there, the mental, that says a lot, doesn't it? The nervous, that says a whole lot. That's the entire working electrical system. And then you've got this breakdown, which is, you're talking energy, right? So you've got the mental, which is your mind. Your mind's setting off this program, which then affects your nervous system, which is affecting your fear system. And so therefore, once it starts hitting the nerves, you're going to go through a lot of pain. And in that pain, your body will be so sensitive because of that nervous energy that the body has just produced. It's like it's almost as if all of your fears and all of your moments of nervousness have come tumbling down. Here it comes. Sort that shit out. Take the whole lot. Bag it up. Let's have a look at it. That's what it's saying. And then you break down. And then, of course, you have to take time off for work because you just don't function. That's your bodily computer has said, I can't do this anymore. And I'm shutting down. That's the end of your PC. That's your computer. It's got a virus. So when you look at that, of course, I would have said that, I'm mental. I'm mentally doing myself in. It's giving me this form of energy. It's giving me these emotions that's going in. I've had a breakdown. A lot of people, billions of people will actually say that. But in the Be Me, that's saying, thank God. About time. Been waiting for this moment for a long time. Are you ready to listen now? Because that shit was that was bound to happen. Look at it. No wonder you had a breakdown. Look at it. It's inevitable, wasn't it? So, we blame ourselves for the whole thing. But if it's a soul's level, hold up here. There's a plan that's gone on here. This has been orchestrated. And I know that for a fact. 100%. Totally orchestrated. There was nothing you could have done about it. There was no other choice that you could have made. It was written. And it was going to happen. Beamism and Be Me is about taking you away from these words, mental and nervous breakdown. You had a transformation. You had an awakening. You had a dark night of the soul moment that said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm better than this. There's something else about me. This was meant to happen. This was meant to break down. And we have to be really careful of how we treat ourselves in the dark night of the soul. So that's why I talk about what I talk about. And hopefully people that go into that mental and nervous breakdown moment, they may not have the reasons why, because that's just too many things to understand. But trying to understand it because I experienced it myself, and then I needed to understand it, because if I didn't understand this, one, I'm not getting out of it. Two, if I did get out of it, I'd probably be so scared that I might end up back in it again. So the dark night of the soul is the final clear out. It's the last initiation. The buck stops right here, because this is my life. And I'm not letting this shitty programming beat me. And that's where you find the strength in the dark night of the soul. Zantsu says, when you learn to sit with your emotions and feel them, it is wahoo. Ha. What kind of magic source is that? There's no kind of magic source at all. But when you learn to sit in your emotions, and I do mean sit. Sit means to sit with them without words of interpretation. It's like in therapy, somebody wants to get their stuff out, but they don't need you to keep butting in. So therefore you have to sit with their emotions and allow them just to release it. So when you sit with your own emotions, you can see where the damage is. You can feel that energy within that emotion, and then you can look back at all of your life, at all the moments when that emotion played a very big part. So as I said, after so many years of it, you're left with a big bag of emotions of the same emotion, but in different chapters of your life. Because at the end of the day, there's kind of two emotions. There's only two of everything, literally. That's why there's two of you, as there was two of me. One's the human, the identity that was given to me before I had any say in it. And the second identity is Be Me. I've got my say in that. There's the two options, Be Me or human. So when you understand how you're feeling as a human, and you understand how intelligent that the body is, that's let you know how sensitive it is, and it hears everything, you then have to then be careful with your own thoughts. So I always say, sit and simmer. For once, listen to what your emotions are saying. Then you can understand them, because for the first time you're listening, but then you can look at it and go, shit, all of that's emotional, and I'm just carrying the whole thing. So healing is when we start to empty that emotional baggage, and then we get rid of it, and we don't need it. So a lot of humans, they want to hold on to that emotion because they fear actually letting it go, because they're not quite sure how they'll feel. It's like having a love for someone that you've had for everyone, for a long time. and you're not with that person, but you've still got that intense love, and you'll always carry that intense love, rather than sort of saying, okay, let's put that to one side because that's actually stopping me from experiencing my life. There's a blockage there. So we have to be very careful where our thoughts are still connected to. But sitting in your emotions is a woohoo moment. It's like, oh my God. You listen. It's, oh my God. I've just cleared something. You feel it clear. It slips. Another overcoat of emotion comes off. Hypnicity. What if everything is exactly as it should be? It is. All we have to do is be kind to each other and ourselves. That's it. Love self, love life. End of story. End of tonight's show, really, because that's what it is. Because if it isn't exactly as it should have been, wouldn't you have done it differently? Wouldn't you have chose it differently? And the answer to that is, of course, yeah, I would. But the choices that I had at the moment I made the choices was the choices that I felt was right. So we all went on a feeling of a choice that we made that says, do I do this, do I do that? I'm going to go with that. If it goes wrong, you go, oh, I wished I went with that. But I've realised now that there is no wishing upon that. That keeps you caught in the past. And I know, because I spent a long time doing that, wanting to go back. I really wanted to go back. But life, this amazing energy that was saying it's not for you anymore, seemed to be playing a game of chess with me. That every time I made a move to sort of go back, it was like I was, oh, what's that? Why is that a block? It's like, check. It's like, right, okay. Right, I'd go this way around. It's like, check. It's like, what on earth's going on? So that's why you get kicked out. And that's why I bring beamism, because it's a way forward. So yeah, definitely be kind to yourself, but it's be me. If you find you be me, it will show to you that everything is just exactly as it was meant to be. And I think that's the moment. And even though we can look at it, and trust me, I looked at it and I thought, that's an excuse. That's a very poor excuse to say that, oh, it was all meant to be. Yeah, was it? I had a few swear words I could use in, oh, it's all meant to be. If it was all meant to be, why is it so bloody painful? And then, of course, you know who you're blaming. This is my life. What's going on? That's the questions we ask. What's going on? But we do have the power. And on a soul level, which is the true essence of who you are. That's the minute particle of who you are. Some call it the light source, the little bit of light of the creator, that sort of source. To me, that contains all the knowledge, it contains all the wealth, it contains literally everything. But it's just the human story that has just clouded it. And it's, you know, the human story is almost like Cinderella, really. But when your soul says, oh, we're going to change that. And there was a moment for me, I think I spoke about it, but I'm not too sure. I mean, there was a moment where reality just fell away. It just ripped. Literally, I was in a hotel room and it just ripped. It's like having a piece of wallpaper that just ripped, and behind it was nothing. And I thought, oh my God, this is, wow, hold up here a minute. What's reality then? But it was showing me that was the light. The light was the other reality. But the rest of it was just a reflection from that light that gave off back to the photography, light and dark. Okay? But once you can see light brings forth, darkness recedes. So when the light comes forward or the light comes into play, the darkness will recede. We take the light away, darkness takes over. And once we start to see that, wow, hold up here a minute, but I need both to create a 3D image. I need both to make the image pop. I need both to show the character, the structure, the face, the portrait, to bring out something through using light and dark. And that's the best way to see life, and that's the best way to understand yourself. It's just in light and dark. Only ever two things. It's only ever two things. And when you truly get to understand emotions, you will realise it's actually only one pain. Just one pain. So beamism is an easy way to understand that quickly before you leave here. It's as simple as that. Witchmaster, we learn corporal punishment techniques early on from our parents. Then later on we use them on ourselves and share them with others. Tough love. That does seem to be the way for a lot of people. You've got that corporal punishment technique. So obviously somewhere that you had quite a tough upbringing in some sense. And it's a pass on, because when we kind of go back a generation on that, that corporal punishment becomes a little bit stronger. Take it back again, and corporal punishment was probably a real big thing, because it's got that sort of army connection to it. That means if you don't fight in the war, then we're going to kill you anyway and class you as a coward. So we're seemingly always being told off for something. That was the thing with being a child. Didn't you find that everything you did, or you had a laugh, something would break? Somebody would get a wallop, somebody would get told off, and it all started off just being fun. So there seemed to be a punishment for fun somewhere along the line, and then of course we go through life and it batters us, it beats us, it programs us, and we believe it and we become it. That's the thing, if you're brought up tough, then you're tough. It's as simple as that. But if there's a moment where you say, and it was for me, there's that moment, it's being tough, I'm tough on me. It's like, shit, what's going on, And there's that moment, and that's the transformation. But a lot of people don't see that transformation, because people just say, well, I am who I am. That's the way I am. Yeah, that's your experiences that's made you the way that you are. If you're all right with that, then hey-ho. But if you're not all right with that, that's when we question it. And then, we share things in many different ways. Listen, you can share a look. You can share an emotion. You can share a fear. There's so much exchanges between people. And what's even worse, if you say you had a mum that was really horrible, if you mention some certain things that she'd done, she'll say to you, no, I never. Where on earth did you get that from? I never said that. You'll have this argument. You think, am I just making this up? Or did I just dream that this is what my life was all about, and it was just a fantasy or something? I'm sure I never made this up. People forget what they say to somebody. People forget the way that they reacted in that angry moment that was affecting somebody, probably younger, maybe a young child, maybe a kid. Just through anger, it's thrown in, and we absorb that wallop. We take it all in. So the whole thing has got us to believe in, to succeed in life. Well, you better bash the shit out of you to do that. Gotta fight. Trump, what's Trump smoke? We've got to fight. We're going to fight back, That's what they all believe. You've got to fight for something. But the warrior in me got to a point, I went, I can't do this. I don't even know what I'm fighting for. I don't even know what truth I'm fighting for. And I don't even know why I'm giving myself an hard time trying to fight for something that I don't know what I'm fighting for. And then the dark night kicks in, and now you've truly got a battle, because you've got two sides that are punching you from left and right. So we do. battle my ego, battle my emotions, battling my experience, battling being me. It's a battle. Zhang says, plan has led me to be a question mark. So my question is, where to now? Only you can answer that. In one sense, when I got to a point with that, there's always a question mark. I think at the beginning of the beginning of my story and the beginning of the book was just why and a question mark. That's what it's always been about. And we get to the point we say, okay, well, what next then? But in actual fact, did you ever really work out what next? Did you ever leave the place of the question mark? It's like you're playing a game, and there's your little player, and it will always forever have the question mark on it, and so rightfully so, it should have the question mark. So if you're questioning something, then you've got to find the answer. But if you can't find the answer to something like that, why don't you just stop the question? Because one of the greatest things I realised in transformation for me is when the questions stopped. That's when I found inner peace. And there was no question mark to that whatsoever. But this is what I say. I just say next. And I just wait. Because I have no idea of what's next in the question mark. Because quite frankly, I had no idea of any of that went on. So whether or not I had an idea, my idea, free will, really? It got me through this. It got me to this. It's like, that wasn't my plan. If I had a big question mark about that, that was a shock to understand that. But if we can take that question mark away, then you have no questions. Then you stop questioning yourself, which questioning is an interrogation. You're badgering yourself with a question because only you that can answer it. Or maybe someone in a soul's journey or a ha-ha moment that answered that next question. But it's always within is where we go, because the first part of it's just been out there. So it's about discovering who we are. So always find that within yourself. Always find that peace or that beauty or that way to be able to communicate. That's your question mark next. It's in the being. Ellie Wynn, I too have had enough. Okay. Right, I too have had enough. Right. Okay. Right, let's have a look at these. Right, we've got loads of questions here. Right, I don't know if I'm starting at a place, but as you know, it jumps. Origins. I found that when I started my inner work, most of my personal persona of Leo or life was invalid. No egoism occurred. I found that when I started my inner work, most of my persona of Leo, is that supposed to say Leo? Or is that supposed to say life? Or something? It's just throwing me there a little bit. Can't answer that because the Leo's throwing me. Throw that back in. What's the rest of your chat? Origins, beingness. Oh, right, okay. Human being is a degradation state of awareness. Consciousness states of origins, beingness. Okay. Human being is a degradation state of awareness. It is that. Yeah, totally. There's no awareness there at all. So conscious states of origins, beingness. Could that just be me? Zhang says, I'm currently working on trying to focusing controlled thoughts. Okay. thoughts, it's a big one. Vocabulary, how many words can you use? What are the correct words that you would use within your thoughts? So controlling thoughts, listening to your thoughts, being observant to your thoughts. Where do the thoughts come from? What's your greater thought? What's your greater thought you have about yourself? What's the greater thought that you could have about life? Hypnicity says, wonder what it is about the UK that produces great spiritual teachers. I follow 3 regularly. You, Amanda Ellis, and Mark Bajowski. I don't know Amanda Ellis, and I don't know, I might have seen that Mark somewhere. But I don't know about the UK producing, I would have thought America did, really. But what UK is kind of always been known for is the gypsies, the tarot readings. Oh, my great-grandma was a psychic medium. She knew everything, you know. And then you've got your mums that started to get into the going to see the medium, and then starts getting into, there's a circle once a week, and they're going to go and learn. So, you know, the East End, I believe so more in the gypsy travellers, we've had a great faith in it, we had a great belief in it. And it's just grown with us. So we've just kind of evolved for it. And as I say, you know, the show that I was on, you know, was the first of its kind. I think it was the first of its kind in the world. And that was here in the UK. We've had a lot of psychic mediums come and go. They seem to be here, and then they just disappear. So, yeah, I think if that's what you're saying, Eckhart Tolle's from, used to live here as well. Lived in Glastonbury for a while. I don't know if that's his origins. I don't think it is it? But he lived here a lot. But yeah, we've grown up with a certain aspect of believing in the spirit, or the afterlife, or you know. So we've had a lot to do with that. So it's good. Oh, you're ruled by Leo. Right. So Origin says, right, ruled by Leo. Double E is a good one on that, being ruled by Leo. Leo the lion, wants to protect everything. You gotta be the Leo, yeah. The pride of. Protect its young, protect its family. Right, Imogen, hi. From Nottingham. Oh, you're in Nottingham. Right, okay. Right, Dowie. A shift into the loving mind, but slip into the fearful pattern, the fearful mind. Focusing too much on the content stirred the energy, but unbalancing again and bringing love to it. Understanding in practice. You can also look at that and say, you're sort of saying, okay, I'm bringing love to it. You could say that you're bringing light to it, which means light meaning information. So you're bringing information to it. But what you also want to bring into the mix is you're bringing a form of naturalness to it. That's another step to look at it. It's a naturalness. But looking at the mind, yes, look at you bought the CD, the Mind How You Go. The many minds is just incredible. We think we've just got the one mind which you believe is you. But that one mind consists of multiple minds. Confused mind. Confused mind. Battling mind. Depressed mind. Argumentative mind. Enlightenment mind. An empty mind. A mental mind. An emotional mind. An ego mind. The list goes on and on and on. That's why they say it's all about the mind. So mind how you go. Again, that's bringing it back to the East End, you know, Manan. She would always say, See you later, son. Mind how you go. And that's what we've always said. That's what we tell all our mates. Yeah, see you later, John. Mind how you go. You know. But I got to the point where I looked at it and I thought, what does that really mean? In where we come from, it means keep your eyes peeled, stay awake, be cautious, mind how you go. But then it got to the point where I looked at it and I thought, my God, wherever your mind is, that's where you're going to go. The mind is on the go. So mind how you go. It's in the mind. So be aware of that mind. Hypnicity. I'd love to have lunch with Cinderella, Dorothy and Alice. Okay. Hypnicity. Greetings to all from Linwood, Washington. Pennsylvania. Chris says I'm late. What country is that? Chris. Elemental. Ellie, good to see you. It's cloudy with a chance. Right, okay. Buffalo, good. We're on the weather. Zantsu, what do you think? Is it so in beamism that you focus on being whole and that what you focused on you become? Be me, I want to be light and dark, live the life that causes my soul to dance inside my body. Okay. Let's go through that again. What do I think? Is it so in beamism that you focus on being whole? You can be whole, right? You can go in the dark night of the soul, and then you've got that, right, that is separated from the human. But when you become whole, that understands that. So there's a wholeness there, straight away. Then you can look at body, mind, and energy. So you can say there's a wholeness there. Then you could look at life and all its separation and all its titles and say, well, there is a oneness and there's a wholeness going off on there. Then you could say that there's no separation between you and your spirit or you and your soul. So there's the wholeness that's going off in there. You could get your lower half of your chakras balanced with your higher form of chakras. There's a whole that's going on. But do you know what happens when you become a whole? There's a nothingness. Because you become whole. There is no other words for it. Whereas the rest of the other titles, because you're in half and half, we've got many titles. So in that wholeness is just a neutralization. It's like when I really finally got it, I thought there was going to be these moments of elation and moments of some great big spectacular sort of firework moment. But it just got to this point where there was a disappointment. But when I received the answer, and it was a spiritual answer as well, that I was expecting all these fireworks. And they said, the greatest gift that you've got out of this is to know that it's called naturalness. And it took me some time to understand that it was just in the naturalness, because the rest of it was bloody hard work. So to then find that naturalness, there was a wholeness in that as well. Because sometimes we believe that if we attain something or we go to get something, it'll have this certain feeling to it. So everything is gauged upon a feeling of how you're going to be feeling in the future. But when it comes back down to this thing, that you realise that you've been living your life unnaturally, and then you realise that when you go into the dark night of the soul, that's the result of unnaturalness. And then finding a way out of that, you would have to find the key to naturalness, because it's the only thing that's going to get you out. Because the rest of the two-part story, part 1 and part 2, is huge. And it's so easy to pull you back in. So, yes, you're the light and the dark. You're all of it. You're literally all of it. It's just everything. It just is. And if your soul wants to dance, that's the feeling, that's the vibration, that's the inner smile. That's your voice of truth. That's your connection. And that's your frequency, that's your vibration. That's the moment. Can you stay there? Will be the gift. if you can stay there. I know the feeling and I know the moment. That's why in that moment I can take it to there. But then I found that just that moment, in that between moment, so you can go there. If it balances back, it's just like a barometer gauge. But when you realise that the soul's journey you think is a fantasy, or you think it's not real, and then it's weird, it's very confusing, it's very hard hitting, and it's got a big question mark on it. But then all of a sudden, the more you awaken to it and you discover there's more truth behind it, wow, that's the wholeness of it all. Because what you thought was a fantasy or a lie, or maybe it's something you've made up, or maybe it's something you've read in a book, but when you find it to be a truth, that's a moment. When you find the truth to anything of who you are or what you've been doing, it's a moment. And that's the moment that we really want to feel it's been worth it. Something made sense. Hypnicity, maybe it's the Arthurian legend. Maybe. Right, it's snowing. Ailey Wynn's a Leo. My youngest one, she's a Leo. And she roars like a lion when she wants to. She's a proud Leo. She will protect her kids like a savage. Emotion. Thank you, Trevor, for that idea. I feel I take a coat off when I listen to your program. Yeah, it's a coat. Look at it as a coat. Which days and what time are you on YouTube? I work with energy. I go with it on the moment that it happens. I don't set myself for any of that. So it's just press that bell thing. I think as soon as it goes on, apparently you'll get something that lets you know that it's me. But no, I don't. I thought I could, but I don't work on that energy. So yeah, full moon. Probably if I knew it was full moon, I probably wouldn't have worked on it, because on a full moon I know that my own energy can change quick. So I'm glad I'm doing this on a full moon now. So there'll be a difference in the naturalness with me tonight on the full moon. You might hear it. You know, I'm explaining a lot of in-depth stuff here and trying to sort of get your soul to listen to it, try to understand it. Does it work for you? Does it feel right for you? Darwin says naturalness is naturalness. Is that like an inner knowing deep down the body's intelligence without human language? Yes, naturalness. Could that be another way of explaining it? A kind of being. It is a being. We're the only thing on the planet that's not natural. Literally. And I do mean anything and everything. We are the only thing on the planet that's not being natural. And when beings don't like themselves, there's the naturalness that they think is them, well, they hate it, so that can't be naturalness. But we believe it's natural to do a lot of things. But naturalness is a moment, it's a feeling. And it's a great feeling, and it's a ha-ha moment. And for me, it was just like, I was working so hard to achieve certain things, or to become certain things, or this spiritual thing, this mediumship thing, this psychic thing, this tarot reading thing, this understanding this spiritual stuff. And it was like, oh God, so hard. And then when the beamie came in, it was like, shit, this stuff's just natural then. There's the child. There's the baby. In its naturalness, of course it's being natural. Then we teach it to be unnatural. Don't do that. You get that? So we came with naturalness. The whole system is completely run by its naturalness. It's us that mess it up. It's the vocabulary that we throw in. That's what damaged me. That's what injured me. If I throw in enough shitty words, oh, that's coming out shitty. You know, and that's what we do. Oh, what's ever going on inside, oh, that's coming out. And I used to look at that and think, that's not right. That just don't feel natural to me. The anger and the frustration, it didn't feel natural. And what that meant is that all of that was given to me through my experiences, but would I have chose it? Would I have put myself through that? And the answer would have been, no, definitely not. I wouldn't have done that. So that wouldn't have been my naturalness. That wouldn't have been my natural state of journey. But when I got down and took the whole language, I took everything out I took it all out. That's the dark night of the soul. Lose the lot. Don't change one little bit. It doesn't work. It's like changing a little bit in your marriage to think that it works. No, it won't work. It's like changing something a little bit. No, sometimes we have to, do you know what? I need to change the lot. And then when the spiritual message came in, it went, you're not human. That was like, yeah, right. Okay, that's a big one. So that was an unnatural question, considering I thought that's what I was being. But then when you find out that, no, you was being your experience, that's not really you. And then beam is the strip down, and it all goes. And then you're just left with, naturalness, because there's nothing in there. There's no shit in there. You're left to begin again. So for me, it was like getting all my naturalness back, my natural gifts, my natural awareness, the very gift that we was all bestowed with. To be able to connect in with your own intelligence and speak with it, with intelligence. But the human made us talk to it like idiots. And it takes a long time to get the idiot virus out. Keep working on it. It's just keep releasing. Say to yourself, is that human? Which means, am I doing the same thing? Am I saying I'm thinking the same thing? That's the human. You know, that's what you're trying to change. Mary Jane, my human self has been trying to kill me. I know the feeling. It's almost strange as I start connecting. Yeah, and that. Excuse me, 1 second. There it is, right there. There's the question right there. My human self has been trying to kill me. It's almost strange as I started connecting to my soulful self. Short answer, your human self is trying to kill you because it's frightened that it's going to lose what it used to know itself to be. So that's going to fight back. That's a human programming. It wants to fight back. So as you're connecting to your soulful self, that human self doesn't want you to connect to your soulful self. The whole human way does not want you connecting to your soulful self. Darkness rules the planet, and darkness has ruled your soulful self. So beamism started from that question you just put right there, and that became the biggest struggle ever. That's what happened. And yes, it's going to do everything in its power to try and kill you off. But I'll give you an answer. It's trying to actually kill off the human self-programming of a belief you've believed in. That's what you need to kill off. It's not killing you off. Look at the way that it's treating you. It's trying to kill that off because it's nasty, and it's fearful, and it's in fear, and it is losing security. It is insecure, rather. It's insecure, it's mouthy, and it knows you more than you do. That's the big journey you're on. 20 years that took me to understand that. Right. Dino, hi Dino. Humans are the most confused animal on this plane. Everything it does is so unbiological, it has been made to fear itself. It has. It has. I didn't realise it had. You know, you just lived the human story. I didn't know I was going to be speaking like this, didn't know I was going to be doing things like this. But when I kind of look at it on the soulful level, just between that light and darkness, you know, we're so blind. You know, I can see why someone said many years ago, you know, heal your own eyesight for God's sake. Heal the blind. That's truly what it means. But my God, you know, I really thought I was being natural, but oh my God, I wasn't. Not at all. None of it was natural. It was just so unnatural. You know, to heal, you know, it becomes so hard. But it was when you get to that point when it's like, my God, what if this is the most natural thing that we're supposed to be doing? But when you try to do the most natural thing, it's like you're an idiot. You know, what are you doing? That's how the soul will fight back. What are you doing talking to your soul? What do you mean, love? Get over yourself, it would say, you know. Zensu, all of this makes me so happy, like floating on a big energy bed. Thank you. I'm literally lighting up my soul. Well done. Well done. Right, okay. I think we're getting to the end here. Zensu, all of this makes sense. When you see through the spell, you break it. Absolutely. Charlie, I recently become aware of changing the programming. I'm hoping to get through to my kids. Yeah, so you've just started, have you? You've just started to realise that if you start to see it as a programming and everything that we do on a repetitiveness, that can be emotional, or that can just be yourself that's doing things. It's the same old thing. You know, that's the program. That's the program that we're rebuilding in someone. And yeah, once you become aware of it, you really can see it. So as quick as you can sort of capture it and understand it, then you can start to create a different program. It's all programs. This whole thing, this computer system that we're living in, this is a programming, and that's what we get sick and tired of, is running the same old program over and over again. That's what we're really sick of. Mary Jane, wow, thanks for that clear answer. Yes, yes, and yes. Hypnicity, I'm trying to get my siblings to look behind the curtain. Okay. Is it working? I'm trying to get my siblings to look behind the curtain. I think they've seen you look behind the curtain enough times. It's all going in. You are the seed. So let's see how your siblings start to delve into what's behind the curtain, kids. That's brilliant. Yeah. Teach by example. You know, people ask my kids, they go, oh, what's your dad like? And they go, different. It's just different. We'll leave it there. He's just different. And they always say to me, Dad, we don't know what to get you for Christmas. They said, because normal dads just have like normal things. But because you ain't a normal dad, I don't know what we can buy for you that's normal. So it's always been a bit of a running joke in my family of, oh, what is your dad? He's not normal for a start. Right, okay, let's go to, we've got top chat up here, so I'm just gonna press that into live chat and see if that changes. No, it doesn't. So I've been on now for an hour and a quarter. So any more questions before we wind this up? Right, Ellie Wynn, humans means are the only known creature that would turn against itself. Absolutely. It kills itself. It hates itself. It doesn't even like itself. And it gives itself a very hard time. So I'm just checking now, see if there's any questions. Yeah, that's the question right there, Mary Jane. My human self has been trying to kill me. When you really look at the human story, all of it, even from that lovely chocolate cake you love eating, is trying to kill you. Everything on this planet, it just seems like it's been geared to sort of kill you. They say that we used to live a lot longer than we are now, but that was when we was in our naturalness. It seems like the more we say, oh, we're having a life, this is the life, the more we're killing ourselves. You know, if you go out and have a good old drink up, oh, we had a great time. No, you're killing yourself. It's incredible, isn't it? And then you whittle it down and it gets to your thoughts. And then you look at it and you think, God, even my thoughts are trying to kill me. Then you know you're in trouble. That became oh man, that was a battle. That's battle. That's the battle of Be Me, that was. Never ending winter this year here. Yeah, I know that feeling. It's so grey and miserable here. No wonder there's no colourful animals here. Because there's no colour. I find England very flat. I'd love to do I thought to myself, maybe I live out in Thailand or somewhere like that, and then when I do a YouTube, I've got palm trees or the ocean behind me rather than a brick wall. I'm thinking of it. You never know. You might see me from a different country. Right, I think we've done all the questions. We'll leave it right there. Trev, love it. Ellie Wynn, I gave up teaching my siblings. In the end, they either listen or they don't. But somehow the program's already set, and sometimes you just got to look of what you put into your children, because it's all going to be played out in front of you. And they're going to go through things that we've been through, but kids never saw you as a child. They never saw you as having relationships when you was young and doing all this dancing and partying and all these things. Kids just say you're dads. They don't want to know. So the programming's been set. You will find out exactly what your life has been about, because your kids will play it out word for word. And then I'll hear one of my kids say, oh, Dad, I don't know why I'm like I am. I say, I know why you are like you are. Me and your mother programmed you. That's why you don't know why you're like you are. And that's why you don't like who you are, because it's not who you really are. It's what your mum and dad and her little ways and their little experiences that put you through who you are and you've become. And I'm really sorry about that. I wished I knew then what I know now, but I can only talk to my kids now by knowing exactly how they're feeling, because it's the story that's been carried over. And now I'm watching my grandchildren go through who they are, and I can see the bearer of my children, and I can see the essence of me. So I can see the whole, not only the plan in my past, now I'm watching it go off in the future. So the past, present and future is concurrent. And when you become truly aware and you see that lineage, it's incredible. You will hate yourself as a human being, because why are we not taught this shit? And I'll tell you for why. Because no one's really come out with the truth of it to give you a different identity, to start seeing it for yourself, to understand that it's real and it's happening without you knowing as a human being. Right. You look divine just as you are. Thank you. I hope that was for me, maybe, in my Peaky Blinder way. Dowie says, I'm also aware how much I can be affected subconsciously too. Yes. Simple example of what? Music, TV shows, a lot of it heavy and fear-based. Yeah, the news. I'm choosing to disconnect from it, and it actually helps me. Yeah, it will help you, or you can actually look at that and understand it, and not let it affect you. Sometimes, you know, I have to see what's going on in the world. It gives me the strength to sort of do what I do whilst that's going on in the world, because that's all it is. And it's not great, really. And it's always been that. So when I look at it all and I think, yeah, look at it, all the programming, the subconsciousness of it all, what music does, you know, good and bad. TV shows, come on, how many people getting killed in shows? It's just wow. Every American movie's basically got a gun. Someone's been killed. It's a fight. Humans hate humans. Fact. Right. Ellie Wynn, deep, Trev. It's got to be deep. It is pretty, Charlie. Okay. Chris, very good, Trevor. Peace be with everyone. Right, guys, I'm going to sign off. And hopefully you've enjoyed our little chat tonight. And I'll get to speak to you again at some point. I'm going to get through this full moon now. I bet it's so cloudy outside, I'm not even going to be able to see it. But I will be able to feel it. And I'm sure I'll be out there at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just simmering in the moonlight. On that note, I'm going to end this show with I'm going to be me. I suggest you be